Okay, good morning. What you're going to see here is you're going to see the P2 lose its bogies on this piece of track. Now, this piece of track, everything else has been running fine on, as you may have seen in my earlier videos. And when you've got a locomotive that's sensitive to track, you tend to think, oh, it's that bloody cock of the north again, or whatever. But bear in mind, it may not be the locomotive. Just because other locomotives will go around a piece of track, it does not mean that that track is laid correctly. Now bear in mind, the more load you put on a locomotive, the more it is sensitive to track. If it's going around on its own, it may not be that sensitive, but you put a lot of weight, you've got all the inertia, all the pulling, and the weakness is going to be the track. And you will see here, it's lost it. And it's easy to think, oh, it's the P2, it's that useless bogie. But sometimes you have to think outside the box and check the track before you condemn the locomotive. Yes, the bogie is sensitive, but that doesn't mean that the bogie is at fault in this instance. And I will show you. Now what I will do is I will show you a couple of locomotives running over this track without any problem. And there's one. You see, it doesn't lose anything. And here's another one. And you're going to be thinking, no, there's nothing wrong with my track. And you can see that runs absolutely fine. No problem at all. Now here we are with the heavy freight train, the same as the P2 was pushing. You remember the P2's bogies were coming off? And you look at this and you think, well, that's lovely. There is nothing wrong with my track. So when this is gone by, we're going to have a look and see what we've got. Okay, this is a piece of track that the P2 was losing its bogies. Let's have a look and see if it's the track or the loco. That's awful. That is awful. Look at that bubble. That is awful. That track is absolutely awful. And if I can zoom in, if hopefully it'll focus, you can see that bubble. That track is awful. Absolute disgrace. Yet you saw two other locos running fine over it. And again here, look at that bubble. It's miles out. That track is awful. It's worse than awful. Now at the start of the bend, you can see the bubble is correct, hopefully. But we move along and look, that is miles out. Now bear in mind that a millimetre is equivalent to 3 inches. So you imagine a loco, what's that, 6 inches out? Awful. Absolutely awful. A millimetre is 3 inches in 00 scale. So that piece of track is an embarrassment. I mean, there, actually you can't see it, but the point's not too bad, but this here is abysmal. And I'll show you how you put it right quickly. Thank you. Okay, what I'm going to do is show you how to fix it, and I'll try and do it in real time because it shouldn't take me that long. First thing you do is put hot water all the way along, because what you're doing is you're loosening the ballast. Next thing you do is pull the screws. You don't have to take them all the way out, but enough that you can lift the track. So basically, so they just sit, so they're just hanging on the plastic sleeper. It's fine. not least. Okay, that was easy. Now, what the best way to do this is you look at where the track is the worst when you put your first washer, because sometimes, I mean that is awful, where the track is at its worst, sometimes putting a 1mm washer in is enough to correct the rest of the track. Not always, and you just use a screwdriver, push it in, hide it under the ballast, nobody's not any the wiser. That's a bit too much, so pull it out a bit. It's easy done. There we go. That is still awful there. And basically the washer is just like a shim, like when you're doing the camshaft on an overhead cam engine. It's just like a shim really, and all you're doing is shimming it. And because you've loosened the ballast, let's have a look. That's a bit too much. It's a very small amount. Very small. No, it needs a washer in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get myself a 1mm washer and try with that, because this one, the N2, is just slightly too tall and I'm overdoing it. Okay, I've got myself some smaller washers and I'm going to try these this time. See where we are here. Let's have a look again. And remember, 1mm is equivalent to 3 inches in the real world. And you can lift the track up a little bit, it's not going to do it any harm. Let's push this underneath. There we go. That's pretty damn good. In fact, it's improved it there as well. God almighty. That one washer. Let's just put one under here, I think. Now I've seen some idiots to try and level track, grab the track with a pair of pliers and bend it. But what they don't realise is they're buckling it down the line by doing that. Got to be a bit careful here, not so much because of the track, but because I've got scenery here that I can't move, well not easily anyway. Let's try that. No, not enough, let's give it some more, a bit more. Perfect. 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 And you can see I've done this in pretty much real time. That there is a little bit. Let's try to put the original washer. So I'm going to push that out a bit. I should have used a smaller one in the first place really, but I didn't realise that wasn't going to be enough, so I just push it out a bit. Simple to do. You can hide it with ballast. In fact, what I'll do is I'll get it out all together. It's just too big for that area. Let's try that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Maybe I need to put a small penny washer just the other side. See, the thing is, because the track's all loose, because of where the water is, what you've done is when you move one, you move another part, and you want it to be that way, because what you don't want to do it's caused a ripple effect on the track, and that is 100%. Little bit there that I'm not happy with, but I'll see how it runs. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll move the camera and I'll show you how level the track is now. Okay, here's the track, and you will see, here we go, where are we? Level, level, level. Remember that bend there was absolutely awful? There is a little bit, just there's not too good. So, just on that part there. So I'm going to have to put a washer in there. So if I can have a small washer please. It's not too good there. That's not going to be hard to sort out. And this large screwdriver please. See this little bit here, you might look at it and think, well, it's not much, but it's enough to cause a derailment, so that's easy to sort out, that is. I'll see if I can do this without moving the camera. Sorry there, jerked it. That's too much. Can I have one of the smaller ones please? And don't be afraid to take a washer out. All real time, as you can see. That's miles out, but you can, well, and it looks miles out, but so you can see there that's got to come up a little bit there. So we put the washer in here. Pull it out a bit. There you go. Done. Look at that, all in a nice line. Look at that. That's beautiful. And what we'll do with that washer is, look at that. Look at that bubble. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, we'll run the P2 on it now and we'll see what happens. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go backwards and forwards over the piece of track that we've repaired, so away we go. And I'm pretty confident the bogey will not come off here. And back again please. And back again please. And back again. And you can see that is absolutely perfect. Okay, we're going to show this pulling the heavy freight train at a reasonable speed. Not too fast, it does slow down a little bit because of the weight and the inertia of the trucks. And we're just going to let it run. We're going to run it round 3 times. Just to show you there is no trickery here. Or we haven't at once, when it's gone round, got lucky. I'm not going to break my voice so you can hear it's constant. And you can see it's running perfectly. Now it will slow down a little bit, slow it down a bit more because of the inertia of the trucks and the pull of them. But you can see that bogey is holding true. and the locomotive is running absolutely fine as we've slowed it right down. Now we're pleased with that. The track's fixed and you can see with your own eyes the difference it's made. Thank you. So I'm going to bring it through one more time to show you that the bogies are absolutely fine. And you look at this, no sign of any movement at all. Perfect. Now bear in mind, if you've got 10 locomotives and one locomotive does not go over the track, it does not necessarily mean it is a locomotive. Now where the track was like that, it would definitely affect class 73s because they're very sensitive to track. They don't derail, but they do stop on track that isn't level. And 040 locomotives and some 060s, because they're twisting and rocking, and the more weight you put on the locomotive when you're pulling it, the more it will twist and rock. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope this video has been helpful and informative. Thank you.